Hey guys, it's Jason with the Boardgame Mechanics, and today we're going to take a look at a mean little gangster themed party game called Good Critters. Good Critters is a 4 to 8 player game where each player is taking on the role of an animal mobster, and they're trying to take certain actions to end the game with the most loot. They're going to do that by robbing other players of loot, by maybe skimming some off the top of the current job that they're doing, maybe by guarding themselves against robbers and then stealing the robbers' cards, maybe by bribing people to ensure that the way the loot is split up is correct and that they get a big fat stack of cash. Whatever you got to do to get the most money, that's what you're going to do. So, enough talking about it. Let's go down to the table, see how it plays. Alright, so here's a game of Good Critters, set up for 4 players, and with the first phase of the game already ready to go. Before I go into the playing, let's go through setup a little bit. So what you're going to do is you're going to take this entire loot deck. You're going to give each player a value 2, 3, 4, and 5 loot, which looks like this. They're just pictures with amounts on the top. And then you're going to break this deck down into a certain number of stacks depending on the number of players. So in a 4-player game, it's 6 equal stacks, and you're going to place a card called the Fuzz, which is the cop, so this is the end game, into the stack that it says in the rulebook. So in this case, it's in stack 4. Then you're going to place 6, then 5, then 4, then 3, then 2, then 1, stack it here, and you're ready to play the game. You're going to give each player their own character cards. So Roxy will get all the cards that have Roxy on the back, and the cards are going to be Guard, Vote Yes, Vote No, Rob, and Skim. And I'll go through what these cards do as we play. And I'm also playing a payoff variant, which is going to give each player these 2 bidding chips, which have no on one side, yes on the other, hard to see, and then $5,000, which are going to actually act as $5,000 towards your total at the end of the game, or however much money that you can attain throughout the game. You're going to pick some player to be the boss. They're going to get the sweet ring token. So I just randomly picked Tooths here as the boss, and I flipped the first 6 cards. Okay, so the way the game works is the boss is going to flip cards equal to the number of players plus 2 here in the display that I have. Then they're going to divide up the loot however they want to each player. So we'll go ahead and get started. So the boss is going to say, let's see, they're going to give themselves 10 grand, which is probably not smart. They'll give Roxy 4. They will give, let me move this, it's a little hard. They'll give Slim Jim 3, and they will give Lima 4. So this is how they divvy it up. So they have 10 grand, 4 grand, 4 grand, 3 grand. So it's pretty even except for the boss. Now, after we do that, each player is going to move their marker to another player, maybe to throw off the scent or bluff, or maybe because they want to rob them. So in this case, Roxy's going to take their token over here to Tooth, go to his house, and Lima is going to do the same. Alright, so why that's important is it's going to determine what this player might do with their cards. Because if there's nobody in front of you, you don't need to play the guard card, because guard's going to protect you from rob. And if there's nobody trying to rob you, not a card you need to play. This player's going to stay at home, and Toots, since somebody's trying to rob him, he's going to come over here to Roxy and try to rob her. Alright, so now you're going to play a card. So, since Toots is in Roxy's house, she can decide what she wants to do. She can decide to guard, which if she plays guard and Toots plays rob, the guard card would steal a card from the person who plays rob. If she doesn't play guard and he plays rob, then he gets to steal a card from Roxy. Skim, the first person to play Skim, starting with the boss going around, gets to take a card from the top, put it on their loot pile for free. Vote Yes means you're okay with the current boss's distribution and you would like it to go through. Voting No means that you don't like it, and if there's more no votes, it fails. The cards go back to the top. No one gets to keep them. You'll flip 2 more, and the boss moves to whoever the first person to vote no was. All right, so let's go ahead and pick a card. So let's see. Roxy doesn't think that they're going to come in, so they're not going to guard. They're actually going to do rob. Nope. They're going to vote no. So they're voting no. Then we'll go over here to Lima. Lima's trying to rob too, so she's actually going to do that. So she's going to play her rob card. So playing that. Toos, he's a little nervous about people coming to get him, so he's going to play guard, which kind of stinks because he's the boss and he could have played skim. And this player thinks that he's going to play guard, so he wants to try to skim off the top. So he's going to play skim. So only the first person to play skim gets to actually do the skim. All right. Then, if they wanted to, they could do some bribing for some voting, but we're not going to do that. So then, they're going to reveal. We'll start with the boss. So they reveal, they're revealing guard. Then we'll go to Slim Jim. He's revealing skim, so he gets to take a card off the top, put it in his loot pile. He got this, just in case you want to see it, $3 grand. Then we're coming to Roxy. She's voting no, which is good because Toos is not robbing Roxy. And then we're going to go over to Lima, and Lima is robbing Roxy, so Toos is defending. So because Toos is defending against the rob, he gets to take a random card from Roxy. So we'll shuffle, or from Lima, we'll shuffle, and he'll take this one. $2 grand. Put it in his loot pile, just go down. Now, there are more no votes than yes votes, so this distribution does not go through. So all the cards come up here. And then we'll flip 2 more, because that's what happens. Everybody goes home. These are cards. Okay, almost done. Sorry, it takes a little bit with one player doing 4. So Roxy voted no, so she gets to become the new boss. She needs to come home too, so let's come home. Toos is here. This person's here. This one stand up. All right. So then we're going to flip 2 more cards. 4,000 and 3,000. So now Roxy gets to divvy it up accordingly. So she is going to maybe be a little more benevolent. So she's going to give herself 5. She will give Lima 9. She'll give Toos 7 because he was a terrible boss last time. And she will give Slim Jim 7. Alright, so there's the distribution breakdown. Now, they're going to select cards and move their tokens somewhere if they want to rob from people. Lima wants to come back here because she's mad at Toos for trying to stealing her stuff. Everyone else I think is going to stay home, but Toos doesn't like it, so he's going to give Slim Jim 1,000 plus a no vote if they vote no against this spread. Now, if they don't vote no, they don't get that 1,000. It just goes back to Toos. But if they do, they take the 1,000. Toos gets his token back. All right, so then you're going to pick a card. Roxy, no one's hanging out in her house, so she's going to do skim because she's the boss, so that's the best for her. And then Lima is going to rob. Toos doesn't actually think she's going to go through with it, so he's not going to play a guard card. So he's going to actually, let's see. He's not going to vote no because he thinks this player's going to vote no. So he will. No, he will vote no. No, let's see. Yeah, he'll guard himself. So he's going to guard himself. And then this player likes that they're getting 7,000. So they're actually going to play a vote yes, even though that they're asking them to play a vote no. All right. So then we're going to reveal the card, starting with the boss. She played skim, so she takes one off the top. $5,000 goes in her loot pile. This player's flipping. She played rob. Then Toos flips. They're playing guard, so he gets to steal a card from her. Again, she's not playing this game very well. He stole $4 grand, goes in his loot pile. Then For the moment of truth, Slim Jim voted yes, so he did not do what Tooth wanted him to do. So Tooth gets his money back and his tokens, and the spread goes through because there's more yes votes than no. So this player gets 7, this player gets 5, this player gets 9 grand, and Tooth gets 7. Then they'll take their cards back. The boss stays the same. If it's a yes vote, the boss doesn't move. So Roxy will still be the boss. And we're going to keep going like this. That's 2 rounds of how the game plays. I'm not going to keep going into it because I think you can get it from that. And you're going to keep going like this until the fuzz shows up. And then once the fuzz shows up, if it's during the flipping of the cards, you stop immediately. If it's any time after that, you play through the rest of the round. Let me show you what the fuzz looks like if I can find it. So here's what the fuzz would look like. So this card would come out, and that's just saying, hey, we've been stealing too much stuff. The cops are on our tail. We need to wrap this up, count our loot, and move on. So whoever has the most money in goods is the winner at that point. And that is how you play Good Critters. Let's go up to the top, see what we think about it. All right, so that was Good Critters. This is an interesting little game. Caveat right up front, this is a game that I think you should only play with your friends because it's kind of mean. And when you're being mean to your friends, you already have that relationship built. So you're not going to hurt somebody's feelings or make them super angry just if you don't know them. You may be being a jerk to them and they could really take it the wrong way. So I would say only play this game with people that you know or are really familiar with. And then you kind of get into the meta game part of it where you're kind of heckling each other, getting into the character, like using your real life, relationships to try to manipulate those people in fun ways. So yes, definitely do that with friends. Now, that out of the way, this game is really fun. I enjoyed it. It's a bluffing kind of game and kind of trying to outthink your opponents in like the prisoner dilemma thing where, say I send my character over to your house. You think I'm going to rob you, but I know that you know I'm going to rob you, so I'm not going to rob you. But you know that I know that you know that whole spiel. So just because you're going to visit somebody with your threat marker doesn't necessarily mean that you're going to do anything. You could be bluffing to free up another action that you want to do. That being said, there's not a lot of action. There's 5 cards. You have the payoff money if you want to do that. Maybe you can make somebody else vote a way you want to vote so you don't have to do it. But then again, they may not do it. So not a lot of talk about this game. It's mean, it's fun, play with friends, and I highly enjoyed it. So that being said, it's good enough for a BGM accepted approval. So we'll go ahead and throw that up right now. And I'm looking forward to playing it again. I played it with 6 players, and I think that's kind of where I liked it, because I think any more than that, it might get a little too crazy. So I would recommend probably playing this at 5 or 6 players. And yeah, I dug it. BGM accepted. And I'm Jason with the Board Game Mechanics. This was the Good Critters review, and keep gaming.